The progression through the private pilot syllabus, the first thing you learn is basic control of the airplane. Climbing, descending, turns, steep turns, aerodynamic stalls. These are all basic components of flying. You have to master those things first, all right? Then we start flying in the traffic pattern and practicing landings. And that just goes, you know, we practice landings here, we practice landings at another airport, we go to Trenton, practice landings at a towered airport. That's kind of fun because we see the big jets, and I saw a B-17 land at Trenton one time. That was a big thrill for me personally. So they learn landings to the point where they can land competently and confidently themselves. Then they go solo. So the instructor's on the radio watching them fly 3 solo takeoff and landings here at Princeton Airport. And then, I mean, that's when you really become a pilot, when you solo the airplane for the first time. And it's fun. It's a big ceremony. We cut the T-shirt off their back. We make a design on it. We pin it up in the Hall of Fame here, where all these shirts from solo students get pinned up. And that's a thrill. Everybody likes to see their T-shirt pinned up on the hall. After solo, they learn cross-country. They plan cross-country flights to more distant airports, Pennsylvania, Cape May, New Jersey, wherever they may want to go, because there's a lot to learn about the weather and fuel, endurance of the airplane, how much time you can fly, all that kind of stuff. And then they fly those cross-country trips with an instructor first, make sure they're comfortable and they're doing everything right. And then after that works out, the instructor signs them off, they fly those cross-country flights solo. And that's a big step, going somewhere else for a change. I mean, you can actually use the airplane to fly someplace. That's a novel idea, right? And after cross countries, then there's more technical things like night flying. You have to fly for 3 hours at night with the instructor. That's kind of fun. We go down to Atlantic City, all the hotels are lit up, and it's a lot of fun to fly to Atlantic City. Then you have to do simulated instrument work where you wear a view-limiting device, either a hood or they call them foggles, glasses that you can't see out the front window of the airplane. All you can see are the instruments, and you have to fly entirely by instruments alone. That takes some practice. And again, you have to watch, we call it scan, you have to look at the instruments, all the instruments in series on a regular basis to know what the airplane is doing. 3 hours of that. Then there's specialty landings, short field landings, soft field landings. Here the student is really refining their piloting skills at the same time that they're learning skills that will enable them to land at short runways, long runways, narrow runways, wide runways, all that, because this is what they're going to encounter when they get out. The crosswind landings, very important part of learning how to land an airplane. And then finally, they have to take a knowledge test. That's a written test. Then it's check ride day. And we sign them all, the instructor signs them off, they go meet their check ride designated pilot examiner, we call it, and they take an oral test and then a flight test where they show the examiner how well they can fly. And then they're signed off, they get their private pilot license. Of course, that's just the beginning. They call it a license to learn because the next step is instrument license. So you can fly in the clouds. And then after that, there's a commercial license, so you can get paid for flying, all right? Then there's instructor licenses, so you can instruct people to fly. And then there's airline transport pilot license, and all the senior instructors here have their ATP licenses. And then there's other things. You can fly tailwheel airplanes, you can fly gliders, you can fly World War II planes, if you can find somebody willing to let you fly their beautiful baby. And you can fly helicopters, which we can hear in the background here. So there's there's always something new that you can do with flying. It never grows old because there's always something new to challenge you, something new to try, some new place to go. There's always a new place to go.